Welcome. Here I'm going to answer some frequently asked questions about this Zomee Z2 pump. So the first question that's often asked is whether it's portable. So it's pretty small. It is designed to be portable. It comes with this lanyard, which you can attach here. And so it's designed to be able to be, you can wear the lanyard around your neck while you're pumping. I actually put it in my pants pocket or my sweats pocket when I use this, and that works pretty well for me. How much does it weigh? Okay, so I weighed it on my kitchen scale. This pump weighs 12 ounces. So that's a little less than a pound, 3/4 of a pound. So it is pretty light and convenient if you're carrying it around. Is it rechargeable? All right, so yes, it is rechargeable, which is great. You don't have to use batteries in it. So it has a USB-C charging cable or charging port, and it came with a charging cable that was a regular USB to USB-C charging cable. How long does the charge last? So this lasts usually 5 or 6 sessions, between 20 and 25 minutes long for me, but I charge it every night, so I usually don't have a problem with running into a situation where I'm running out of charge. Can you use it when it's plugged in? Yes, you can. So if you plug it in, it will turn on, and you can use it while it's actually plugged in. Is it a double or single pump? So it is both. You can use it in either mode. So if you'd like to use it as a single pump and only do one side, you close this little silicone port thing and you use just the one side. If you'd like to use it as a double pump, you open that and kind of twist it over to the side, and then you can use both and have it as a double pump. Can you use it as a primary pump? That's a great question. So with these little portable pumps, there is some complaint from some folks about whether the suction is powerful enough. I have not had trouble with suction just in general for any pump I've used, and I've tried like 7 of them by now, just between my different children. I think that if you're having a problem with suction, the first thing you should do is check your bra. So you need a pumping bra that holds the flanges really tight to your body. It shouldn't hurt. They shouldn't be digging in, but they do need to be tight on there. And I find that there are some types of bras that just don't work very well. The one I like the best is a simple Wishes bra, and it zips up in the front. It gets nice and touched. It's fully adjustable. It's a really good pump, pumping bra, and it holds it really closely to your body. How do you turn it on? All right, so you have the power button. You have to hold it for 3 seconds, and then it will turn on. Related question, does it save your most recent suction level? It does not. So every time you turn this pump on, it will start in 2-phase mode, and it will start at level 1. To turn it off, you just click the power button. You don't have to hold it to turn it off. Does it have a night light? It does have a night light, and you turn it on by pressing and holding this button for 3 seconds, and then you just tap it to turn it off. Can you turn on the nightlight without actually turning on the pump? The answer is yes. If you hold the nightlight button for 3 seconds, it will turn on. That little ring around is the nightlight. In the dark, depending on how dark your room is, sometimes it's kind of hard to find that button. So I would say it's possible, but there may be a user issue with trying to turn the nightlight on without having the pump on, because you might not be able to see this button. How do you pause the pumping session? So when it's on, if you'd like to pause, you press the pause button. In order to restart the session or continue the session, you press the button again. What are the different modes? All right, so this is a great question. There are 3 different modes in this pump. There's something called 2-phase mode. This is massage or stimulation mode. And then expression mode. So the difference between the 3 modes is the 2-phase mode is meant to do little small suctions and then longer draws, and that is more like what an infant does when actually nursing. The massage or stimulation mode is meant to just do small little draws, little suctions, and that would be to stimulate the letdown. And then the expression mode is longer, more powerful draws, and that is intended to really get that milk out. That's why it's called expression mode. It's really intended to express as much milk as possible. What is massage mode? So this is a question that gets asked a lot. It is this little suctions, and it's an essential component of getting the letdown to start. So when you first start nursing, your infant will do something like this, and that stimulates the letdown, so your body will kind of release this hormone, and then the milk will actually start flowing. If you don't have that good letdown, then you're not going to get as much milk out. How many suction levels does it have? All right, so for each of the mode, the answers is different. The stimulation or massage mode has 5 different levels. The expression mode has 9 levels. And then the 2-phase mode also has 5 levels. So that's the levels for each of those modes. How to use it? Great question. So to use this pump, the thing that I would recommend is that you start in the massage mode. I would do that for 1 to 2 minutes. Then I would switch to the expression mode. Probably you're going to start in the stimulation mode, you're going to start at levels 1 or 2, increase it as it feels comfortable. Then you're going to switch to expression mode. You'll do this for, I would say, 4 or 5 minutes until the milk's flow starts to slow down. It might be less time for you, it might be only 3. It kind of depends on how quickly your body releases that milk. And then I don't like to be messing with it and going back and forth between massage mode and expression mode. So that's when I will actually switch to the 2-phase mode. And you're going to be, again, you might be closer to the higher range on this one. And then I just stay there for the remainder of the session. Each pumping session for me is usually between 20 and 25 minutes. Does it have a record pump function? So no, this pump does not have the ability to record a session. That some pumps will do this where you do a record function and then you do like 2 minutes in one mode, 4 minutes in another mode, 2 minutes back, 4 minutes back. Like you can really customize that mode, and this pump does not have a recording function. Does it have an auto shut off? Yes. This pump will shut off automatically after 30 minutes. I think for me, that's a nice feature because of the touch screen. If I throw it into my bag or something and it accidentally gets turned on, I know it's not going to be just running until the battery's out. It will eventually turn off after 30 minutes. Can you disable the auto shut off? No, you cannot. This pump shuts off automatically after 30 minutes and you cannot disable that feature. Can you pump while laying down? The answer to this is almost always no, and it is true for this pump as well. The pumps are not designed to work when you're laying down, and usually the suction won't be good, or you'll have milk spilling out of the actual flange because it doesn't necessarily have a watertight seal between where the flange touches your body. So you could have milk spilling out, which is always a bummer, and they're not designed to be used laying down. Can you put this pump into a pocket? Yes, it does fit into my sweatpants pocket or the pocket of my robe. You could also use a fanny pack or something like that. For me, if I place it into my pocket with the screen facing my leg, sometimes it turns off. So I face it so the screen is facing out away from my body, and I haven't had trouble with it turning itself off or adjusting the settings when I do it that way. Are the bottle parts easy to clean? So the bottle parts are as easy to clean as any pump bottle parts. I don't know how to answer that except that none of them are amazing because you have all these little tiny pieces and then they get milk all over them. So I recommend that you put the parts into a bin. I just use a bin like this, like a big plastic bin. Immediately after pumping, and give them a really good swish around with warm soapy water. If you let the milk dry onto the parts, there's this like fatty residue that is really hard to get off. So I recommend washing them immediately in soapy water. If you can't wash them immediately, then they sell these little pump wipes. I know Medela has a brand, and I think there's a couple others that also sell it, and they're actually really good. They remove that residue until you can get to a place where you can wash them fully. Is it compatible with Spectra parts? So this pump, the flange will screw on to the Spectra bottle. The bottle for the Spectra pump is the same size as the bottle for the Zomee. So you can use Spectra bottles on this pump. Is it compatible with the Freemie? It is not in their list of compatible pumps. It's possible that you could look up a hack for that online, but it's not in the list of compatible parts for the Freemie. Is it compatible with the Legendary cups? Yes, it is. So the Legendary cups has this particular pump listed as compatible, and when you get the Legendary kit, it comes with a few different adapters, and you'll be able to find the ones that work for you. And they've got really good tutorial videos on their website as well. Is it compatible with the Medela bottles? No, the Medela bottles are a different size, and the flange system for this pump will not screw on to the Medela bottles. Can you pump straight into a bag? That's a great question. So the Zomee actually does sell a adapter that you can use for any bags. So the adapter that Zomee sells has a little it clips onto the bags. It doesn't screw onto them. So just be aware that it may, depending on your bags, it may slip off of them. So you're not going to be able to, I would say, wander around or do any chores if you're pumping straight into a bag. This also fits the Spectra bottles though, and Spectra sells both bags and an adapter that screw together. So that would be a more secure system, but also more expensive because you're going to need to buy, you can't just use it with any bags. You're going to have to buy those particular bags that screw onto that adapter, but that would be a more secure option if you want to pump straight into a bag and also be able to walk around while you're pumping. How do you clean the pump? So the pump itself has this touchscreen. It cannot be submerged in water. You're going to need to just wipe it down with a damp rag. So the same as you would clean any of your electronics, right? Don't dunk it. Just wash it a little bit if it gets something spilled on it. It's pretty good. So, for me, I haven't spilled a whole bottle of milk on it. I've just spilled like a few drops here and there, and it wipes off easily. Does it come with a carrying case? This pump is not sold with a carrying case, but it's so small you can fit it in a pocket or a fanny pack. It will fit in a lot of different whatever purse or items that you have. What parts for this pump need to be replaced, and how often do they need to be replaced? So the flange assembly system has two components that need regular replacement. The first is the duckbill valve. The website says that you should replace the duckbill valve 1 to 3 months, one every month if you're pumping more often, if you're doing 3 or more times a day, and then every 3 months if you're just pumping occasionally. You can also look at the actual duckbill that you have. When you start to see a gap there, when it doesn't close all the way, when it's at rest, so it should be closed when you first begin, and then as it wears, it'll start to have a little gap here. That's usually an indicator that it's time to replace the duckbill valve. The other component that needs replacing is this diaphragm component. The manufacturer recommends that you replace it every 3 to 6 months. 3 months if you're pumping 3 or more times a day, closer to 6 months if you're only pumping occasionally. And that I don't have as good of a way of telling when it needs replacement, but you will start to see a loss of suction. So if you're having a loss of suction, the first thing I would do is check your bra, make sure you have a good pumping bra that has good contact to your between the flange and the body, and then I would just replace all of these components. I would replace both the duckbill valve as well as the diaphragm and see if that fixes your suction problem. Thanks so much for watching. Please post any other questions you have in the comments and I will answer them.